So Dad gets a big video, highly produced. Ryan gets announced, and then you get Chris. So I know what you're all thinking, what can I possibly say that Dad or Ryan haven't already covered? Pressure's on. So this is the cleanup hitter, hopefully, and I'll make it interesting for you. So what I wanted to ask you to think about just today is think about what it means to you personally to hold a higher standard. To hold a higher standard. You see it in your everyday life. You know, it's the person who may send that handwritten note, take the time that you receive and it touches you, versus just sending the thank you text, versus the person who doesn't do anything. That's my definition of standards. It's the waiter who already has your fork replaced once you drop it without asking. So how does this play out in business? What does it mean to hold a higher standard? I'm going to tell you a story, actually 2 experiences I had this past year related to airports and plane travel. How's that going these days, right? So it's we all deal with the common inconveniences of the person in the armrest or the guy who opens a Big Mac next to you. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just different standards. So one trip I had was SAS. Connie, you know about that one. Went to Norway. Actually consulted one of your friends. And we get to the destination, go to baggage claim, typical. Wait for the baggage claim carousel to start. Wait for it to continue. Kept waiting, and then you know what happens. Sinking feeling in the stomach, and find out that, in fact, I have no bag. So I look around for baggage claim or baggage services, and all they had, but it was very prominently placed, all they had was a QR code that says, in case of lost bag, download this QR code. And I was thinking to myself, why is it so prominent? Do they have this problem a lot? Must be used to it. So they're trying to get efficient with that process, I guess. So I downloaded their QR code. There was no place I could get a live voice. That really bothered me. Couldn't get a live voice on the website, anywhere. So I downloaded the QR code, and that started my 5-day relationship with the SAS chatbot. It was very frustrating. I didn't ever have a real handle on where my bag was. I didn't know when it was going to get there. Nobody was communicating with me. It was ambiguous. And then finally, 5 days later, the bag shows up. 5 days. And it was the day before I had to go back home. Frustrating experience. Now let's move to the last trip I took, which was with Delta Airlines. So, same experience, carousel stops, no bag. I guess it's a common occurrence these days, but it's something all airlines deal with. But the difference was pretty amazing. I went into their system, and I put in literally 3 pieces of information. My last name, the flight number, and the airport I flew out of. Immediately, their AI system had it all. We know exactly where your bag is. We are going to tell you when it's going to get to the airport. We're going to give you the courier service that's going to pick up the bag and all the contact information if you're curious. And your bag will get there by 4:30 tomorrow. Wow. The better thing was when they sent me that text for the information, they had a link to tell me their contact information. You want to speak to a live voice, if you have any other questions, which I really didn't, they already gave it to me, but they had the extra consideration of saying, if you want to speak to a live voice, call us. I spoke to the representative, and what they said really was pretty amazing. Mr. Raveis, I just want to let you know we're super sorry for our mistake. They took ownership right away. And do you have all the details you need? Yes, I do. It was very, very efficient, thank you. And what we also want to say is, at Delta, we don't accept these mistakes lightly. And we want to let you know that for your inconvenience, and for the day that you don't have that bag, we don't want your family's vacation to be impacted. So please, purchase anything that you need for the next day that was in that bag, and we'll reimburse you. I was blown away by how many clothes I bought the next day. That was a joke, but I didn't take advantage of it. But it was really amazing. It was amazing what the standard was. It was this same industry, same problem, two completely different standards in a company. So I was curious, and I wanted to understand a little bit more why. So I did some research online, and I looked up their CEO, and I looked at their leadership. And what is it they do? What is it they do that creates this outstanding experience and has such a high standard? And there was three things that I took away from Ed Bastian, is the CEO's name. Number one, we strive for operational excellence. That was obvious. It worked. Number two, we take care of our employees. They're the first to come up with a profit-sharing program when the airlines are in a dump and got everybody on board. We take care of our employees so that they take care of the customers. And then third and finally, which I really liked, was he said, doing the right thing in business is doing the smart thing. It stuck with me. So I want to share with you what I see as some of the things that makes us different. And you've heard some of this already, but I'm just going to go through it. Number one, we want to be your operating partner. We want to act as your operating partner. We want to be valuable to you. And our managers are not just here to observe the business. I know how it works. Some of you may have been at other companies. Hopefully you see that effect. We spend a lot of time training our management team. I really spend a lot of time focused on that. We have business analytics programs. We have business planning. Sit down with your managers and go through the process. We have a coaching guide that we've created for our management team that's very detailed about what we're focused on this past year, which is, where are the opportunities to raise your commissions? They're there. And we've learned from the best agents in the company how to go about getting the highest commissions, which takes me to my next point. We have a culture of collaboration. Very important. That doesn't exist at other companies. And what I mean by that is that we bring our best people together to help everybody. The top agents in the company. We've got 2 panels today that the very best agents in our company are going to talk about their techniques and share. So this past year, you may have been involved with workshops or training sessions or panel discussions where you're listening to these top agents share. That's pretty amazing. Not many people share out there, especially real estate agents. At other companies, perhaps a lot less so. And it's something that it's significant, because when we are involved with that environment, the strongest help everybody raise their standard. I say that to my daughter, Charlotte. Hi, Charlotte again. And by the way, the answer is no. There's no car this spring semester at college. First. Second, there is something that I always say to her that we've talked a lot about, is that you are the company you keep. And if you want to raise your bar, hang out with people who have a high standard, and that naturally happens. So that's part of the philosophy in our management team and why we bring people together and share a culture of collaboration. It's powerful. It's really part of who we are. The other thing we do, and I would say that we have proven to the United States and everyone else that we hold a high standard. We show that in the awards we've won over the years, and we've won all the major awards: innovation, entrepreneur. Most recently, in the last 3 years, Inman voted us as the top broker and the top luxury broker. And to apply to these for these awards, you have to really submit everything that you're doing. And we know every one of our competitors enter the same application, and we won. Now it's not a matter of, yeah, thank you. It's not a matter of us and us trying to pat ourselves in the back. It's not about that. It's about showcasing our standard. So you can work and feel comfortable that you work for a company that holds a high standard. In my experience with Delta taught me that matters a lot, and you feel it. Whereas next flight, if I have a choice between SAS and Delta, I can tell you right now, I'm going to pay a little bit more to eliminate risk. I don't want to have a what-if experience. At William Raveis, that's what we're trying to help create for you, so that when you go to your client, they can say, "Well, William Raveis, this agent is must be with, best in the business. They're very impressive, and boy, are they with a great company." And that's our way of helping you do things like boost your commissions or win listings. It's the strength of the brand, and that's why we showcase it. We maintain the highest industry standards. And then one last thing I would say is a big differentiating point for us is that over anything else, first and foremost, we will always do what is in our client's best interest first before our own. And you will too. If you want to have longevity in this business, you have to act that way. You do what's right for your client, and your business will continue to grow. You don't follow that pattern, you've got problems. You've got problems because it becomes somewhat obvious after 1, 2, 3 times you do things differently that are not in your client's best interests. That's not the group we have here. So, I will take a little time. You heard from Dad about this, but I'll take a little time about what I feel is going on in the industry today, what we're seeing, and there's a lot of media hype. There is a lot of grappling with the struggle between, in this case, it's Zillow, and Compass now represents Anywhere, and major factor in trying to change the way things are done and eliminate transparency. And it's not about me trying to bash a competitor, it's me giving you confidence in where we're going, because strategically it's off. So what happened was, if you all have been reading this, I'm sure you're aware that Zillow advocates transparency, and trust me, we were the first in line to say that we don't want our listings on Zillow. I didn't like them coming to business. But there was a point where we had all of our agents opt into Zillow, and we couldn't fight it anymore because the homeowners said, I don't want them, I want all my listings opted in, and let's stop playing games. So we had to cave, basically, and say, okay, fine, all of our listings will be on Zillow because our clients want it. Zillow has continued their model, and they've risen to be the top portal. Like it or not, they have the most traffic out of the next 3 competitors, Redfin, homes and realtor combined. So it's undeniable. Most of your clients will say, I'm on Zillow, right? So to pick a battle with Zillow, that's a strategic move. This is corporate chess moves going on out there. This is what you're seeing in the headlines. And what move do we make to try to gain advantage and everything else? It's all very tactical, game theory. And I think we just saw a strategic error happen. So now what happens is, and this is for all of your advantages, Zillow blocked this concept of private listings. And they said, we are not interested in this. Now they're preserving their business model, of course. But they came out with a statement, we're not going to advocate private listings. And any private listing, if you put a listing private to begin with, it will forever be banned. We don't care what happens. Coming soon, MLS, it will forever be banned on Zillow. That was the fight. That was the courtroom battle. That was what Zillow won. There is no victory in having to partner with Redfin. There's no victory in that. No matter what the headlines are going to be saying about it, think about that and think about your presentations with your home sellers. You just gained an amazing advantage. An amazing advantage. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to debunk this whole notion that's being pumped up, and you've heard it from other agents in the market. But I'm going to give you a couple thoughts about this. The reasons that are being provided to promote private listings. Number one is we should give sellers the choice with how they market their home. Right? You've all heard that? Seller's choice. Very important. Well, I agree with that too. We need to give sellers choice in how they market homes. So, if they want to go private, then they should be able to go private. But I don't really buy that. Because if sellers were so good at making decisions on how they were going to market homes, you'd be out of business. Why do they need you? So that's really devaluing your expertise. You should be the one that tells them how to market the home and what's right. So now you've got this model that all the agents are going to have to endorse this strategy because it's so visible out there. This private listing strategy. It's a mistake. We don't need to have anybody telling you how to market homes. You tell the homeowner how to do it. The other thing that is justified in the private listing reasoning is to ensure accurate pricing once it hits the MLS. Let's test it out. Let's see if the pricing is right. What does that do to us? That really makes us sound worse. Like we don't know how to price a home. Like how many hands of top producers here feel really insecure about the pricing of a home? That you're going to go to their homeowner and be like, let's try it out like this and we'll see and then we'll know. That is a weak position and that is a low bar. That's not how we act. We act like professionals and we tell them this is the price range, this is our analysis, this is what we see happening, and we're not unsure. So think about that in your next pitch. You're going to be going against this in your listing presentations. This is some of what you can say. Their reasoning that they give is to test aspirational pricing. Aspirational pricing. You know what that's code for? An overpriced listing that you're strapped with. Who likes taking overpriced listings? What agents here? Let's show of hands, come on. Who likes the overpriced listing? Sometimes you have to take it, and you kind of work them down after a while, but once they get that price in their head, a lot of them just kind of get mentally stuck on it, right? Not all of them be like, okay, well, we're just going to drop it right away, right? How many clients do that right away? They hang on it. They get wed to that big number. So I don't think that's a great strategy. Aspirational pricing. Let's overprice your listing. See if we can snag somebody. That is a Hail Mary. Come on, we're better than that. And then fourth, to hide days on market. right? So when you're in this private zone, nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to know when it comes onto MLS how long it's been marketed for, really. What does that say? Why are you trying to hide? The listing's priced well. If you're doing your job, it's what it is. It's market. You know, the market's going to change, and everybody's going to sort of roll to maybe it's a 3-month selling time. But it's market driven. Now, if you're selling houses in 6 months and the market's at 3, you got a problem. But that's where we talk about markets. That's what demonstrates your professionalism and the reason why they choose you, because you know what to do. To hide days on market, think about it. Think about it. You have people coming to one of the new listings on MLS, and now, because they're with that company, they're forever questioning, how many days has this really been on? It's going to be public information. It's not a secret. We're not hiding, oh yeah. No, it's not like that. It's like, if this is how I think about this, maybe I'm a little cynical, but if you had a car, right? And you go to the dealer and you want to get a used car sold, and you're like, hey, before you put it on the lot, can you dial back the odometer a little bit? Really? Now, if somebody's known, the car lot that's known for dialing back the odometer, are you going to trust that parking, the car lot? So that's the problem here, guys. This is the strategic chess move that was played wrong in the market, and you're seeing it unfold, and we couldn't be happier about it. Because you know what? We do the thing that's the best for our sellers, and our sellers' best interests above and beyond anything else. And that is what I mean by holding a higher standard. Thank you.